Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to the last session based on the chapter arrays. Already we discussed mainly 3 sessions based on the arrays, and today we are going to discuss about the last session based on the topic, the last chapter of the chapter arrays. And remember, this is first PUC Computer Science topic. And previous session, mainly in previous sessions, we discussed about the two-dimensional arrays. What is a two-dimensional array? Two-dimensional array is a array with the 2 subscript. When there are 2 subscript is there, means that type of arrays are known as two-dimensional arrays, and that can be represented using the rows and columns. So normally if you want to represent the matrices if you want to represent, or matrix if you want to represent, then we are making use of two-dimensional arrays. Normally it can be represented using the tables. 3 into 3 cross 3 matrix, 2 cross 3 matrix, like that. If you want to represent any matrix or matrices, we are making use of the two-dimensional arrays. Then after that, mainly represent using the columns and rows. Rows will be there, and also the columns, and then we can specify each element in an array. Then after that, next we started with the one more topic, how to declare the two-dimensional arrays. Whenever if you want to declare the two-dimensional arrays, then we have to make use of data type, and after data type we have to provide the space. After data type we have to provide the space. Then after the space, then next you have to give the array name. Then within the subscript you have to provide the size. That is a declaration of arrays. Then after that we discussed with initializing the two-dimensional array. There are different methods also I discussed in a previous sessions. So these much topics we discussed in the previous session. Let us move to today's session. In this session we are mainly discussing about how to access the two-dimensional arrays. Already we discussed how to access the one-dimensional array in previous sessions mainly. Whenever we are going to discuss about one-dimensional arrays, at that time I told that how to access the one-dimensional array. So now we are going to discuss about how we can access the two-dimensional arrays. Whenever if you are going to access the two-dimensional arrays, mainly for loop is required. Like a one-dimensional array only, here also for loop is required. In that only one for loop is required. But here, in case of two-dimensional arrays, to access different rows, we have one more for loop. First for loop and one more for loop. Inner for loop is mainly accessing the different columns, and outer for loop, there are mainly 2 types of for loops here. One is inner for loop and one more is outer for loop. So if you take the inner for loop, the inner for loop will access only the rows. Inner for loop that is accessing the different columns, and outer for loop that is accessing the different rows. So like that we can access the two-dimensional arrays. For that purpose, we will take one example. First we take one two-dimensional array declaration. So that is int a of 3, 3. Enough. This much is enough. Now int a of 3 and 3. If you declare this type of array, so it will create one memory space. I write the memory space here. One table structure. The table structure will not be there, but for understanding, I will write the table structure that contains 3 rows and 3 columns. 3 and 3, and index values start from 0, 1, and 2. This one is 0, 1, and 2. So it is 0, 0. This one is right here 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. So 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. Then 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. So that is A of 0, 0, A of 0, 1, A of 0, 2, A of 1, 0, A of 1, 1, A of 1, 2, A of 2, 0, A of 2, 1, like final A of 2, 2. So like that we can access each element. Like that we can access each element by using the index values. Remember, we have to use 2 index values to access one column or one cell. For example, this is a particular cell is here. If you want to access this particular cell, you have to use 2 index values. One row index value, and same time you have to use a column index value. See, for example, this one if you want to access means this one row is 0 and column is 1. So you have to use row and column. So 2 subscript, so 2 index value you have to use. Then we will get the particular data. So for this data, if you want to insert the value, mainly I want to insert the values. Just I can write C out. Just I can write like this, C out. Enter the values. We don't want to go to 9 values, so we can write enter 9 values or enter the values. Like that we can enter. Then I have to use is with the two for loops. So first for loop I use for I equal to 0. First for loop for rows, second for columns. Remember like that always. First one is for 4, first for loop for this one, second is for this one. This is the first one, first for loop, this is the second for loop. Known as outer for loop. Second one is inner for loop. Outer for loop starting with 0, total size is 3. Total size is 3 means 0 to 2. 0, 1, 2. So means 0 to 2 is limit. So 0, then I less than 3. Here 3, then I plus. First for. In second for loop I am using the flower bracket. Without flower bracket also possible. Without using the flower bracket also is possible, right? For understanding, I will use one more flower bracket. Inside one more, you have to use the one more for loop. One more for loop to access the columns. So here I use for j equal to 0. I use j equal to 0. Then j less than 3, j plus. J equal to 0, j less than 3 and j plus. Then inside that, when I use the flower bracket, if you are not using the flower bracket also do work because only one statement is there. Whenever only one statements are there means that can be used without using the flower bracket. So like I use here C in which value A of first subscript, second subscript. First subscript is I, second subscript is J. So then I will explain how this one is working, then we understand easily. So this is the method to access. So same in all the cases, whenever two-dimensional array is there, this is a limit. So remember, only changing here limit, size will be changing. Other than that, everything is same. Other than that, everything is same to access the two-dimensional arrays. So this is mainly to insert the element into a two-dimensional array. To insert an element to two-dimensional array. This is the method. So whenever if you are going to insert the data to two-dimensional arrays, then first how it is working? First enter the value, display enter the values. Then after that, for will be started. For I equal to 0, I value which are right here. Separately after that, only understand. First I value is equal to 0. First I value is 0. Then we check whether I is less than 3. Whether I is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Condition is true because I value is 0, I less than 3, or I can write 0 less than 3. Condition is true. Whenever condition is true, remember, whenever condition is true, you will enter inside. From here to here. Anything subject that is going to execute. All the statements are executed. But he say here, instead of the first for loop, one more for loop is given. So it will over with the one more for loop. For it will initialize j is equal to 0. It will initialize j value is equal to 0. So it will initialize j equal to 0. Then j less than 3. Check the condition that j is less than 3. J is less than 3. Condition is checked. J means 0. 0 less than 3. Condition is checked. Then if the condition is true, it will enter inside. Once it will enter inside, C in A of enter one value. For example, if you enter value 10 means enter the value 10. For example, here enter the value 10. That is stored in A of I comma j. What is the value of I? I value is 0 and j value also 0. So data will be stored in A of 0 0. So 10, if you enter the 10, that will be stored here. A of 0 0. Got it. After that, this for loop is finished. Then is going to increment. Which increment will be done here? Either I plus or j plus. It will increment the j plus inner for loop. Increment the inner for loop. After increment the inner for loop, say j is equal to j plus 1. J is equal to 1. J is equal to 1. But remember, I value is still 0. I value is still 0. Then j is 1. Next check 1 less than 3. 1 less than 3. Condition is true. 1 is less than 3. So condition is true. Whenever condition is true, after this one move to here. It will move into here. So j is less than 3. Condition is true. Whenever condition is true, means enter one second enter inside the folder. It will take one more value C in. For example, enter the value is 10, 20. It will be stored in A of ij. It will be stored in A of ij. What is the value of I? I value is still 0. I value is still 0. We are not changed. I value is still 0. F I j. J value, what's the value of j? J value is 1. J value is 1. So data will be stored in 0 and 1. Data will be stored in 0 and 1 here. The next one. So once again j is incremented. Now j value is 3. Now j value is 2. Now j value is 2. After j value is 2, j less than 3 is going to check whether j is less than 2. So j value means 2 is less than 3. Condition is check whether 2 is less than 3. Condition is true. Whenever condition is true means once again enter inside. Will enter inside. See in a of ij. A of ij. What's the value of I and what's the value of j? Value of I is still 0 and value of j. Value of I is still 0 and value of j. J value is now changed into 2. J value is now changed into 2. So it will be going to store here 30. For example, enter the value is 30. We don't know. Now we are not saying that's a 30, 20, 10 and all. That is the based on the user. Which value will enter? That value is going to store there. Next, after that, j is once again increment. J plus plus j is 3. J is going to as 3. Whenever value of j is 3, then we check whether 3 is less than 3. We will check 3 is less than 3. Condition is false. Whenever inner loop condition is false, control move here. Control move out from inner loop. Means here we will reach. So here we reach the end of first loop. So going to increment the I value. Who is going to increment the I value? See, whenever inner condition is false means then it is moving to increment the outer loop. It will move to increment the outer loop. So I value is I plus plus. I value now it is changed into 1. I plus plus I value is 1. I value is 1. So after I value is 1, next I is less than 3. What is the I value? I value is 1. 1 is less than, check whether 1 is less than 3. Condition is true or false. You can check that whether condition is true or false. Condition is true. Whenever condition is true, whenever I value is less than condition, then we will enter inside. So same steps are repeated. Once again, same steps are repeated. Then here it will initialize once again j value as 0. Once again it will initialize j value as 0. J value is 0. Then we will check whether j less than 3. 0 less than 3. Condition is true. Condition is true. Then whether 0 is less than 6, then see in a of ij. For example, if you enter 40, 40 is entered. Please I'm writing here. If you enter 40, that is stored in a of 1 and 0 because a of ij, I value is 1 here and j value is 0. So data is going to store in 1 and 0. That will be stored here 40. Then after that, once again, we are going to increment j plus plus. After that, we are going to increment the inner loop is not finished. So increment j plus plus, j value is 1 now. So j value is 1. J value is 1. Then after j value is 1, we will check whether 1 is less than 3. Condition is true. 1 is less than 3. Condition is true. Whenever 1 is less than 3, next once again, see, we are going to enter one more value. We are going to enter one more value. For example, that is 50. Think that is 50. That is going to 50. So you know that value it is stored in a of ij. What is the value of I? I value is 1. J value is also 1. I value is still same. J value is also 1. So 50 is going to store here. So like that. One more time that will be repeated. Then j plus plus. Now j value is 2. J is equal to 2. J value is equal to 2. Whenever j is equal to, we'll check the condition. 2 is less than 3. Check the condition. Whether 2 is less than 3. Condition is true or false here? Condition is true. Whenever condition is true, once again is going to execute the statements. See a of ij. For example, for given as 60 means what's the value of I? I value is 1. J value is 2 because j value is incremented just now. So j value is 2. I value is 1. For example, here data 60 will be stored. That loop is finished. Next once again I is incremented. J is incremented. J is now 3. J is equal to 3. Then we check whether 3 is less than 3. 3 is less than 3. Condition is false. Condition is going to false. Whenever condition is false, then it will come out from inner loop. Control is coming out from inner loop here. then it is going to execute the outer loop. That is going to execute the outer loop. In outer loop it is given that I plus plus. Outer loop is given that I plus plus. So next I value equal to 2. Next I value is equal to 2. Here also I value is 2. I then will check whether I is 2 less than 3. We will check whether 2 is less than 3. Condition is true or false. Condition is true. Whenever condition is true, here you can check that condition is true. Whenever condition is true, I will write here this part. I write this part here. I is equal to 2. 2 less than 3 condition is true. Whenever condition is true, then once again you enter inside. Once again you will enter inside. Here the line is raised. J is equal to 0. Condition is then we will check the 0 less than 3. Condition is true. Then whenever condition is true means enter inside. A of ij. A of ij. I value is the value of I. I value is 2. J value is 0. I value is 2. J value is 0. So we will enter one example 17. One more enter value 7. Then after that J is incremented. J is equal to 1. J value is equal to 1. Whenever J value is equal to 1, then we check whether 1 less than 3. 1 less than 3 condition is true. 1 less than 3 condition is true. So whenever condition is true, it will enter inside. Here I j is given. That is the value of I. I value is 2. J value is now incremented by 1. So it will be entered in the data. 80, for example, 80 is given means that will be stored there. Then after that J is incremented. J is equal to 2. And we will check 2 less than 3 condition is true or false. Condition is true. Whenever condition is true means once again one more data will be entered. For example, I will write this is a line that is stored in A of 2 and 2. I is 2 and J is 2. Then J is incremented. J is equal to 3. Then 3 is less than 3. Condition is false. Whenever condition is false means it will move to outer for loop. It will move to outer for loop. Then once again I is incremented. I is equal to 3 now. Once again I is incremented. I is equal to 3. Then it will check I less than 3. That is the value of I 3. Whenever outer loop is fails means then control is going to move out from the looping structure. Control is going to move out from the looping structure. This is the working of 2 for loops. Whenever 2 for loops are given as a nested format, this is a working. Remember here, outer for loop is working only once, but here inner looping is working 3 times. How many times if you give the condition? For 3 times, that 3 times also inner loop is going to work. And remember, each cell can be accessed like that. Inner for loop is mainly to access the different columns. First column, second column, third column. First column, second, third, first, second. So like that, if you have to access the different columns, we are making use of inner for loop. Outer for loop is accessing on the first row, second row, and third row. 3 rows if you want to access, we are making use of outer for loop. So this is the inserting a data. This is the part we can write to insert an element into an array. If you insert like that, then you have to display. Whenever if you are going to display, I am not going to explain how we can display. Just I will change here and I write. I just change the data and for loop. Then it get please understand. Okay. Only one statement is going to change. That you can find out. See out the elements are. Elements are. Then I can write 4, first for loop. I is equal to 0. I less than 3. I plus plus first for loop and open for bracket and I can use one more for second for loop. For j equal to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus, then see out A of I and J. So that is only one change here. If you compare the first part and second part, only C in and C out statement is changing. Remaining working of the for loop, that is also same, and displaying and accessing element, that also same. Here also when you are going to display, here also we require 2 for loop. When you are going to insert also we require 2 for loop. 2 for loop is required in both the cases. And one more thing here, remember only one statement, C out statement. In that case we are making use of only C in statement. That is the difference between inserting and also displaying. So based on this you will write one program, then easily you can understand. Full program I will write based on this part. You can write this one later, I will write the full part, then easily you can copy that one. So whenever if you are going to write the full program, see here first part is hash into IO string dot h, hash into IO string dot h. Then after that next I will write the void main. Then before that some statements are there. I am not going to write that. Calling.h is required, inside that CLR, SCR is required, getCH is required, definition statements are required. Leave that one. I am not going to write that one. So just one program to access the elements and also the displays or to insert the elements to array, two-dimensional array, and also display the elements from two-dimensional array. So here thereafter that void main. Next I write integer variables int a of 10, total size is 10 and 10. Then I and j. For example, I want two size, that is I and j. Then I use the for loop. See, first I write C out, enter, array elements. Then for I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus. Next I write directly here for j equal to 0, so less than 10, j plus. C in a of ij. Remember, when you are going to write, you can use the open flower bracket and closing flower bracket. Here only one statement is there, so without using the open flower bracket or closing flower bracket, you can make use of inserting element. So this three statement mainly is used to insert elements. Then you are going to display. So I write C out the array elements are. You can write the array elements are 4, I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus, 4, j equal to 0, j less than 10, j plus, then I can write it as C out a of ij. I can use the end because I want to display the elements in one line after next line. Next goes in the flower bracket. So this is a simple program to insert the elements, and also these three statements that is to display the array elements, two-dimensional array elements. See, this is a simple program that is to insert the elements to array into array and also to display the same elements. Remember, when you are going to insert, you have to use the 2 for loop, and when you are going to display also, you have to use the 2 for loop. Same for loop is required, but only one change here, in that input you have to use the Cin. In case of output, you have to use the C out statements. And one more thing here, whenever if you are going to write the n elements, sometimes we will be getting the question to enter the 10 elements or n elements. N means you have to take the size separately. You have to take the size here, enter the row size and enter the column size. Row size should be mentioned in first for loop, column size should be mentioned in second for loop. That you have to remember. Sometimes they will ask and create a one two-dimensional array with m and n values. So you have to hold m into n values. Means in that case, what you have to do is first you have to declare the array with 100 and maximum numbers. For example, using maximum 100 or 1000 elements you can create. Then when you are going to use the for loop, you have before taking the for loop, you have to take one value from the user. So what is the row size and what is the column size? That should be taken. C out, enter the row size, then C in R, and C out, enter the column size, then you can take the C. Then row size should be mentioned in first for loop, column size should be mentioned in second for loop. Then we can enter that much elements. That is possible in case of array. That based on that one, I will do the worksheet. And now we will move to the last topic of that is multi-dimensional arrays. So what is a multi-dimensional arrays? Multi-dimensional array. So if you take the arrays, the mainly are of three types of arrays possible. Mainly three types of array are there. One is one-dimensional array that having only one subscript. That type of arrays are known as one-dimensional arrays. Then if you have the two subscript is there means that type of arrays are known as two-dimensional arrays. Whenever more than two subscript is there means, for example, when you are going to declare the array with the three subscript, that is actually known as multi-dimensional array. 3-dimensional is possible, 4-dimensional, and also with the 5, 6 like that, different dimensional arrays are possible. Remember, one-dimensional array we have to use only one for loop to access whatever it is, to access the array elements. In case of one-dimensional array, we have to use with the one for loop. In case of two-dimensional arrays, we have to use with the two for loops. In case of two-dimensional array, we have to make use of two for loops. Whenever three-dimensional arrays there means you have to use with the three for loops. Four-dimensional array means like that. Whenever number of subscript or number of dimensions increasing means that much for loop we have to use to access the array elements. Remember, three-dimensional means you have to use three subscript. Three subscript is that means that's a three-dimensional. So based on the number of subscript, that much for loop should be used to access the array elements. So this much about the three-dimensional array or multi-dimensional arrays. So by here we reach the end of session today. In this session we mainly discussed about how to access the two-dimensional arrays. When I'm going to access two-dimensional arrays, inserting and displaying the elements. So full program is written here. Copy of this program is important. Based on this one, I'll give the worksheet, and based on this one, you are going to do the lab program also. These are two-dimensional arrays. And after that, we discuss the multi-dimensional arrays. Remember, whenever dimensions are increasing, we have to use the number of for loops to access the array elements. Based on this session, I'll give the worksheet. Work out that one. So, by this, we will finish the entire this chapter. Then we will meet in next session. Thank you.